100 miles per hour, I might crash cause a good die young. Yeah, the good die young. Push it to the limit, I can't go no more. Red light, no way, I'm coming back home. Long dirt road, all on my own. I'ma be the greatest, write my name in the stone. Write my name in the stone. Yeah, I'm coming back.
Hey, I'm Lee, and I've set myself a challenge. I want to run a half marathon while staying strong and athletic. But the key here is I'm not doing it alone. I'm using ChatGPT to train me over the 8 weeks, balancing weightlifting, running training, my nutrition, recovery, and weightlifting all in one, with one goal: to finish the half marathon in under 2 hours and ideally with around a 5:40 pace. So let's see how it goes. Yep, it's true. I'm letting ChatGPT train me for 8 weeks towards a half marathon. I have no idea where I'm doing the half marathon, if it's going to be here in Bali, if it's going to be Australia, if it's going to be the UK. I have no idea where it's going to be. But I am training towards a marathon as a quote unquote hybrid athlete. I'm lifting weights and running training at the same time. And I asked ChatGPT if it could be my coach. I've trained sports pretty much my whole life. When I was young, I played all the usual sports at school: football, rugby, cricket, all of those sports. And then I found the love of roller hockey, played that for about 11 years to a high level. And then when I moved to Australia, from about the age of 20, I got into bodybuilding, trained with a great coach called Jamie DeRago, who's an IFBB pro. So I followed his training and programs for about 6 or 7 years. I was under his guidance for some bodybuilding competitions. I tried all the different types of training, all the different types of eating. So I've had a lot of experience with different coaches and training programs over the years. And I was really curious as to what ChatGPT would give me. And the question is, can AI really replace a real coach? And the short answer is, well, they definitely tried. So I know this term like hybrid athlete's been thrown around for a long time, and I shied away from it for ages. I was like, oh, this is another one of those labels, right? But it really does sum up the type of training well. I'm training for a long distance run, but I'm also keeping up my strength training in the gym. I myself train mainly with kettlebells in a functional way, and I throw in some heavier functional barbell lifts at the beginning of every weight training session. And I follow the 753 training pattern that I actually got from Matt August way back in the day from his 753 training program, which was based off of some sort of Olympic weightlifting program to build strength over time. And so I begin every workout with that, and then I move on to my kettlebell training for the hypertrophy and the more isolated muscle training in between. Current stats, I never weigh myself anymore. I used to weigh myself every single day when I was bodybuilding, but when you weigh yourself every day for about 7 years, it gets a bit boring. I don't really care about my weight anymore. I just worry about being healthy, feeling good, being able to move well, being able to sleep well, recover well. And, as a natural byproduct and a natural symptom of that, you just end up looking good anyway. So strength training is going pretty well. We've been pretty solid on that for the last 10, 12 years. And fitness level is just an average fitness level. I can run a 5K, no problems. 10K is where I start to cross over the threshold, enjoy skipping, enjoy sprinting. So yeah, I'm really excited to build from this foundation that I have. So let's talk about how the idea actually came around and what I actually did to get ChatGPT to design my program, right? I was watching some YouTube and I've followed Nick Bear and people like that for a long time and loved the style of training that they do. I've done a few long distance runs in the past and always been quite inspired by my younger brother Adam. He's ran ultra marathons and things like that in the past, which is really inspiring. And I was at a point in my training where it was great. It was comfortable. I was super healthy, moving well, strong, functional, flexible. But I felt like I needed a challenge. And I think that's important for a man in the modern day world, is to challenge ourselves, right? Because there's not a lot of physical challenge in the modern world. There's a lot of mental challenge and there's a lot of ego challenge, emotional challenge, but there's not a ton of physical challenge. And I think for me in particular, it helps if I have those periodic challenges physically. So I thought, hey, this hybrid thing is coming to my attention quite a lot. Maybe it's a sign from the universe that I need to do something about it. So I thought, what's the running event that first comes to mind? And my hometown in Plymouth in the UK, they have a half marathon every year, a half marathon event, Plymouth Half. Looked up the date, and it was in the middle of May or something like that, and that was exactly 8 weeks away from when I first looked into training this way. Yeah, I started a conversation with ChatGPT. I was like, hey, I want to run a half marathon, and I want to train like a hybrid athlete. I currently train kettlebells. I was telling it all about that, and I said, here's a date. I've got 8 weeks, and then I prompted it and said, if you were Nick Bear, how would you train me? And then it started to say, oh, we do this, we do that, do that. I was like, oh, cool, okay. And it gave me like a couple of different blocks. I said, okay, put together an 8-week training program. Here's my current stats. And I think I was running like I think it was 3K. I said, I can run a 3 kilometer at like a 5:40, 5:45 pace, something like that. And with the goal of either to finish the half marathon under 2 hours or complete it at like a 5:40, 5:45 pace, same as the 3K pace, right? I wanted to finish the whole half marathon at that pace. Yeah, it was awesome. I'm just going to grab my phone and read through the program. It broke it up into 3 blocks. So block 1, weeks 1 to 4 was like aerobic base building. So day 1. Mondays is full body strength session with a 4 to 5K run at a 6 to 6:15 pace. Day 2 is speed intervals, 6 to 8 rounds of 400 meters at a 5 to 5:15 pace, and 90 seconds rest between each one. Day 3 is an upper body session with a 3K easy recovery run. And that's just at whatever pace. I usually aim for like a 6-minute pace. Then day 4 is a tempo run, which is 5 to 7K at a 5:30 to 5:40 pace. Day 5 is just a leg and core training day, no running. Day 6 is, so this is quite interesting. This is like a long run day, but it's really cool how it's done it. So block 1 is weeks 1 to 4, and then at week 1 it gave me 8K to run as my long run, at a pace of like 6 to 6:20, and then each week it told me to increase it by 2Ks on the long run, which was really cool. So it goes 8K, 10K, 12K, 14K, and the pace stays the same, 6 to 6:20 kilometer. And then day 7 again is like a rest. It says rest or active recovery, mobility, foam rolling, and walking. So currently I'm on the 3rd week of the first block. So I'm at my long run is 12Ks this week. I did 10Ks last week, and yeah, it was good. Like at that pace, at 6 to 6:20, I'm pretty sure I finished it like all up at a 6 kilometer an hour pace. And it was okay. Like I said earlier, I was hitting the threshold, but it was fine. Like I got through it, which was great, and I can really feel the benefits of like the other types of training that I'm doing through the week. And then the next block, so I've got one more week on this block. This is I'm going into week 4 now, which is cool. And then the next block 2 is weeks 5 and 6, which is strength and speed hybrid. So day 1 there is a full body strength plus a 5K, a 6 kilometer pace. Day 2 is hill sprints, 6 to 8 rounds of 200 to 300 meters, uphill sprints, and then walk down recovery. Day 3 is strength and mid-distance run, so it's like upper body, and then an 8 to 10K at race pace, so 5:30 kilometer an hour. Then day 4 is a tempo run, 7 to 9K at 5:20 to 5:30K pace. Day 5 is lower body and mobility. Again, no running that day. Day 6 is the long run. So here is where it starts to get a lot more kilometers under the belt. It starts at 16K at week 5, and then it goes to 18K at week 6 with a 6 kilometer pace. And then day 7 again is recovery. Block 3, which is week 7 to 8, which is like the peak and taper week, it says. Day 1 of that week, so my day 1 is a Monday. strength and 5K run. So full body training, easy 5K at 6 kilometer pace. Day 2, 800-meter intervals. So 6 800-meter intervals at 5 to 5:10, which is pretty nippy. Day 3, strength and mid-distance run, upper body, and 8 to 10K at race pace. Tempo run for day 4, 8K at 520 kilometer. Day 5, light strength and mobility. No heavy lifting, just body weight and mobility work. Nice, no running there. And then day 6, it says 20K in week 7. So that's the week out from the race. And then it says taper to 10K, so half of that mileage or kilometerage in week 8. So that's the week of the race. And then Sunday is the recovery. And then it says race week, reduce the mileage by 40 to 50%, do short, easy runs, 3 to 5K at 6 kilometer pace. No heavy lifting, just mobility and core. Carb load 48 hours before the race. Hydration and sleep is a top priority. So that's the system. That's the framework it's given me. So like I said, I'm the fourth week into the first block. It's been awesome. Like, it's not been too hard to follow. I've only missed a couple of sessions due to like travel and things like that. Because I'm here in Bali, right? So I'm training in Bali this whole first block. I've been in Bali now for about 5 months. Just weight training alone is intense. You just get so sweaty doing like a half hour, 40-minute weight training session, let alone going out for like 10K runs. It's just, the sweat is pouring off you. So I feel like for this first block, it's really been like a birth of fire into this hybrid training, half marathon training, because yeah, it's just intense. And I think it's just going to set me up really well for the next couple of blocks. The next block is going to be in Australia, and then the final block is going to be in the UK. So I've got a lot of travel coming up. So that's awesome. I've hit, yeah, like I say, most of the sessions, only missed a couple, managed to get in all of the long runs. I might share some stats on the screen in a little bit just to show some of the runs. I mean, it's not crazy, it's not groundbreaking stuff, but like, it's fun just to keep an eye on the metrics and see where things are at. Sometimes I even surprise myself. Like, sometimes I track, make sure I keep an eye on every kilometer, like the pace, and sometimes I just don't even look. And then I finish a race, I'm like, whoa, I ran a lot faster than I thought I was, or felt like I was. Yeah, so that was awesome. Thought that was great how ChatGPT fired that out. And I have my own training plan, like my own kettlebell training plan, which is cool, which I could share with you in another video. But it says here, key strength training key points is low volume. So like, strength stays at 3 times per week, but lift should be lower reps, higher weight early on, and then lighter as the rest day approaches. Big lift focus, so squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, overhead press. And then it says durability work as well. So like Bulgarian split squats, single leg Romanian deadlifts, and core stability as well. It says recovery is a priority, which we all know that. And this day and age, foam rolling, stretching, and glute hip mobility. One thing I am focusing on a lot with the kettlebells is a lot of single leg stuff. So a lot of single leg lunges, step ups, things like that, and like multi-directional as well, just to keep the hips, the quads, and the glutes really firing. And then there's one more thing that it says, a race strategy, which I'll dig into this in a bit of in a later video as I get closer to the run. But it says race strategy, May 11th. Start slow. That must have been that. I think that was the date that I gave it that I might be running. Start slow. First 3 to 5K is 550 to 6 kilometer an hour, and then it says find your rhythm and settle into the 530 to 540 pace, and then push the last 3 to 4K if you're feeling strong. Drop to a 510 to 520K pace. So yeah, sometimes I see that in my runs. I get these waves, like some of the kilometers are faster, some are slower. Yeah, so that's how the GPT built my plan, which was awesome. And yeah, like, I was so surprised, like, how easy that was and how well it spat out a great plan. Like, I have no idea if that's even like a pro level plan, but it seems fairly logical to me. It starts out by base building and then gradually moves into race week, which is kind of cool. And yeah, to be honest, like, even when I prompted it from the get-go, like, it was fairly spot on. Like, I didn't have to change too much within like what it gave me. There was a couple of things like days of the week that I was running and stuff like that I had to change, but like, yeah, it was pretty spot on. So I guess this is like the beginning of a journey, being trained by a robot. I mean, I guess it's a fairly reliable robot, right? It's an aggregate of all the information on the internet, and the reason I chose it as well is like I'm not like a serious hybrid athlete, right? I've trained all my life. I've studied holistic health myself, so I've been through the Czech Institute. I've studied HRC1. Like I said, I've been into bodybuilding. I've been into sports, roller hockey, played at a high level. So for me, it was intrigue, and like I don't want to go out and pay a coach if I'm just going to change the sport again. You know, if I thought, yeah, you know what, I'm going to give the next 5 years to like hybrid training and long distance running and all these things, and yeah, I'll probably go out and pay for a proper coach. But this is just like a great experiment and really fun. And obviously, I'm not going to go crazy if it starts going not so well. Then I'm not going to carry on and just push through. But yeah, it's so far really good. I'm tracking everything just on like notes on my phone. I just copy pasted everything from ChatGPT straight into the notes on my phone. Nothing fancy. I just got it to put it into a table for me. Yeah, and just Strava and Whoop. So someone asked me at breakfast the other day, like, how do you stay motivated like without a real coach? And like, I'm really fortunate. Like, I've always been massively self-motivated. That's why I took it. I'm very curious as well, so I can just easily take things upon myself, and yeah, see the process through. But I guess this is like a really cool thing and might be a cool series. Like if you are training on your own, you know, you could subscribe and then follow this journey, and I'll update my progress, and hopefully that could motivate you to keep going along on this journey as well. Because that's one of the things, right, in this modern day, like all these tools are fantastic, the internet's great and all this stuff, but it can breed isolation, right? And it's like, what is it, the second law of thermodynamics or something? You know, anything in isolation increases its entropy, essentially increases its chaos. So I think even though these tools are fantastic and it's just been me and the robot, it's just me and the camera, it's just me and the road, you know, it is important to keep a community aspect around this stuff. So yeah, I think for me, I don't struggle to be self-motivated, but I could see how people wouldn't be if there's no community aspect around it as well. And that's why there's like the rise of the run clubs, right? It's just so important. I think in 2025, we do so much stuff in isolation. I think it is one of the downfalls of the modern world. Connection is out there if you really, really want it. So will I be ready for race day? Who knows? I'm 4 weeks in, so far so good. It's been an incredible journey so far, and I'm seeing the benefits and the improvements already. So yeah, if you want to follow along the journey, welcome to the channel. And I'll be updating consistently, and I'll show you the conversations that I'm having with ChatGPT if I need to update the prompts or if I need to update anything in my training. What I am going to do close to the race day is start to ask it more about nutrition. Now I'm getting into the later blocks of training. I'm going to ask it more about hydration and more about nutrition. So I think that'll be really interesting to see what it comes up with there. Because I've done a ton of nutrition training in my life, going from playing sports as a kid, having no idea, going into bodybuilding, learning everything right down to the macros and the micros, tracking every single calorie, seeing how that manipulates and changes the body no matter what you do with it. And then through to like functional health, how Paul Chek teaches, you know, primal pattern eating and ancestral pattern eating. So yeah, I've tried out a lot of different stuff. So this is going to be interesting to see where it takes me on this journey as well. So that's a wrap for this video. I just wanted to put it all out there. I guess this is a bit of community accountability for me. I think it's super interesting. I'm super curious whether ChatGPT is going to be able to prepare me for a half marathon race in 8 weeks. So if any of it was helpful, feel free to subscribe, follow along the journey, and maybe we can build a movement together here on this channel. I'll keep my progress updated. If I make any changes and different chats with the robots, I'll let you all know. And yeah, keep the prompts updated and what's going on with the training and where I'm at with my progress.